Right, let's solve this set of questions. The pesticide-free village. We have true false not given from 1 to 4. 5 to 10 is gap filling. 11 to 13 is also gap filling. Okay, so number 1. Cotton growing was expected to raise more money than other crop. More money, that's a key word. More. Then cotton is a key word too. So I'm looking at the passage now, paragraph 1, I can see cotton culture. The outsiders from Gontor brought cotton culture with them, and this attracted resident farmers by promising to bring in more hard cash. That's it. That's the paraphrase for more money. More hard cash. So our answer to number 1 is going to be true. Number 2, some of the local agrochemical dealers had been farmers in the past. So local agrochemical dealers, those are keywords for me. And then farmers in the past. So back to the passage. So they were already growing to heat and sell, such as millets, mung beans, chili, and rice. But growing cotton meant using pesticides and fertilizers. Until then, a mystery to the mostly illiterate farmers. Local agrochemical dealers, we saw that in question 2, obligingly filled the need for information and supplies. These middlemen sold commercial seeds, fertilizers, and insecticides on credit and guaranteed purchase of crops. They offer technical advice. The farmers depended on the dealers. We don't know whether they were farmers. The passage does not tell us if they were farmers in the past or if they were not farmers. So we're going to pick not given. There's no information on it, on what they were doing in the past. So I think not given is okay for this one. Number 3, initially the farmers' cotton yields were low. Okay, back to the passage. The farmers depend on the dealers if they wanted to grow cotton, and they did. It seemed they had no choice. Okay. Number 4 says initially the farmers' cotton yields were low. Next, back to the passage. Next paragraph. A quick eye booming yield and incomes quick eye booming yield. That's opposite of what we are saying in number 3. So number 3 is false. It wasn't low, it was high. The cotton yield was high initially. That's what we are seeing in the passage. Number 4, at first the farmers failed to notice the negative effects on their fields of pesticide use. Okay, back to the passage. Pesticides is another word for insecticide because insects are pests. Pesticides kill pests. Insecticides kill insects. Insects feed on plants, so insects are pests. So pesticides and insecticides are paraphrase. That's my point. Now, outlay on insecticide was fairly low because cotton pests hadn't moved in yet. Many farmers were so impressed with the chemicals that they started using them on other crops as well. The immediate payoffs from the chemically dependent agriculture both ensured and obscured the fact that the black dirt field had gone into free fall of environmental degradation, dragged down by a chain of cause and effects. At first, the farmers failed to notice the negative effect on the fields. At first, this thing here says the immediate payoffs from the chemically dependent cotton agriculture obscured the fact that the black dirt field had gone into free fall of environmental degradation. That sounds like they did not notice the free fall of environmental degradation talks about negative effects. And this thing says it obscured that fact. So that means this number 4 is true. They didn't notice it. They didn't notice it. Next set of questions. Number 5. Non-pesticide management program. Developed with the aid of secure. Secure is in capital letter, so it's going to be a keyword for me. Is there anything like secure in the next paragraph? Soon, cotton eaters such as bollworm and aphids plagued the fields. As the bugs grew tougher, I can't say secure here. Next paragraph. By the time some farmers tried to break free of their chemical dependence, insecticides had already decimated the birds. Okay. Alright, I can say secure here. Okay. Developed with the aid of secure. Based on the use of an dash called Neem. Let me look for Neem. Where is Neem? N-E-E-M. N-E-E-M. I can't say Neem in this part of the passage. It involved turning to Neem. Yes, I can see Neem now. A fast-growing, broad-leaved evergreen tree related to mahogany. Based on the use of an evergreen tree. That's our, the instruction says no more than 2 words. So we can write evergreen tree. Evergreen tree. Neem contains many dash that targets plant-eating predators. Neem protects itself against insects by producing a multitude of natural pesticides, yes, that have evolved specifically to defeat plant-eating insects, yes. Paraphrase for plant-eating predators. So this is going to be natural pesticides. Natural pesticides. Number 7, neem used as the pesticide. Dash formed by grinding seeds. Okay. Thus are generally harmless to humans and other animals, including birds and insects that eat pests. The plant is native to India and Burma, where it has been used for centuries to control pests and to promote health. To protect cotton, neem seeds are simply ground into powder. Ground into powder is a paraphrase for, look at this place in the passage. Ground into powder, that is a paraphrase for powder formed by grinding. Powder. Powder formed by what? Grinding. Left dash to soak in water. Okay, left dash to soak in water. So let's go and check. Soaked overnight. Left overnight. Yes, that's our word. Overnight. Left overnight. Can you see? Paraphrasing. This is about paraphrasing, arrangement and rearrangement and using new words. That's how they do paraphrasing in gap feeding and every other question type in IELTS reading. So sprayed regularly, used as a pesticide and as a fertilizer, added in dash form to soil. Okay, neem cake. I can see something here. Neem cake applied to soil kills insect pests and doubles as an organic fertilizer. Neem cake added in cake form. Cake form. This thing that they wrote here, sprayed onto crop. I can see spray here. Used as pesticide and fertilizer. Kill pests. Organic fertilizer. Added in cake form to soil. The only place where I'm seeing soil here is this place here. Neem cake. So it's going to be cake. Added in cake form. Number 9 is going to be cake. C-A-K-E. Contains a lot of dash. Back to the passage. So doubles as organic fertilizer, high in nitrogen. That's it. Contains a lot of nitrogen. High in nitrogen. Number 10 is going to be nitrogen. N-I-T-R-O. N-I-T-R-O-G-E-N. Nitrogen. Number 11. In which year did the farmers finally stop using chemicals on cotton crops in Punukula? Okay, I can see Punukula here. Now they found that similar immediate rewards are helping to speed change. By the end of 2000, all the farmers in Punukula village were using NPM rather than chemicals. So that should be our answer. 2000. Yeah, 2000. What did the women of Punukula collect to make money? So women, I can see women here. The status and economic opportunities of women improved. Neem change gathered momentum as NPM became even more effective. Once everyone became a source of income for some of them, as they gathered seeds from the surrounding area to sell for NPM. They gathered seeds. What did they collect or what did they gather? That would be seeds. SEEDS, seeds. What project do the authorities in Punukula hope to set up in the future? Back to the passage. To improve the situation meant that their families could afford to put more land under cultivation. Okay. In 2004, Panchayat village government formally declared Punukula to be pesticide-free village. Okay. And they have big plans for the future, such as water purification. Yes. Water purification. That's our answer. Water purification. So, I've solved everything. Let's submit and see what my score is gonna be. Submit. 7.5. Okay, which one is wrong? Which one is wrong? Which one is wrong? Number 7 and number 12 is telling me that number 7 is a powder instead of powder. Let me check and confirm. Let me check. Let's do. I like to call this thing self-correction. A powder. A powder. How can that be? How can that be the answer? A powder. Where is it? Okay. A powder formed by grinding seeds. Powder formed by grinding seeds. A powder formed by grinding seeds. I feel the A should be optional. A should be optional. Then another one, number 12. What did the women of Punukula collect to make money? Neem seeds. I wrote seeds instead of neem seeds. Let me check that passage again. So it says that they gathered seeds. They gathered seeds from the surrounding area. How? I feel seeds also. I mean, neem is not in this part of the passage. They wrote seeds there. But if you go by the context of everything from the beginning of the text, what is NPM? Let me see. What is the meaning of NPM? This thing I'm doing here is what we call self-correction. I want to know what is the meaning of NPM. NPM, non-pesticide management. Okay. As NPM gathered momentum, Neem change gathered momentum as NPM became even more effective once everyone became the source of income for some, as they gathered seeds. Wow. Well, I feel Neem should be optional, really. They gathered seeds from the surrounding area to sell for NPM. Okay. That passage says Neem is the one that was producing natural pesticide. So if you write seeds, that means you are talking about any kind of seed. But the context of this passage, it has to be neem seeds for this NPM to work. Is the neem seed. So I think I agree with them. Neem seed is actually correct. It should be neem seeds, not just any kind of seed. It has to be neem seeds. It's neem seeds that they were gathering. All right. Self-correction, that's it. I've learned from my lesson. I've learned from my mistakes, sorry. So this is how you do. So take time to go through anything you get wrong and ask yourself, okay, why is this the correct answer? What was my mistake? Okay? All right. Thank you very much.